3 days after the presentation, the full council voted on whether to accept humanity into the galactic community. Nathan and the other humans waited nervously in a side chamber. Lisa kept checking her communication device for updates. "What's taking so long?" Captain Foster asked. "They've been in session for hours. They're deciding the future relationship between humanity and hundreds of alien species," Lisa reminded him. "It's a big decision." Finally, the door opened and a council messenger entered. "The council has reached a decision. Your presence is requested in the main chamber." They followed the messenger through the now familiar corridors of Nexus Station. Nathan noticed some aliens nodding to them as they passed. Others still kept their distance, but the open hostility from earlier was gone. The council chamber was packed with representatives from every species. High Counselor Drix stood at the center platform, his feathers arranged in what Nathan had learned was a formal pattern. "Representatives of Earth," Drix began when the humans had taken their places. "The council has voted on your admission to the galactic community." Nathan held his breath. Everything had seemed positive after the presentation, but he knew some species still found human reproduction disturbing. By a significant majority, Drix continued, "The council has voted to welcome humanity as full members of our community, with all rights and responsibilities that entails." The humans smiled at each other in relief. Lisa stepped forward. "Thank you, High Counselor. We are honored to join the galactic community." "There is more," Drix said. "Counselor Mira's work has inspired a new initiative." Mira moved to stand beside Drix, her scales glowing with bright colors. "The Council has approved the creation of the Galactic Biological Diversity Institute," she announced. "This new organization will study and celebrate the many ways life has evolved across our galaxy." "Dr. Morgan," Drix turned to Nathan, "we invite you to serve as the first human representative to this institute. Your willingness to share knowledge about Earth's life forms has opened many minds, including my own." Nathan was stunned. "I would be honored," he managed to say. "The institute will be housed here on Nexus Station," Mira explained. "Scientists from all council species will work together to understand the full spectrum of life's possibilities." After the formal ceremony ended, many council members approached the humans to offer congratulations. Even some who had been most disturbed by human reproduction came to speak with them. "I still find your method of reproduction strange," admitted a tall insect-like alien to Nathan. "But I recognize that my reaction was based on unfamiliarity, not reason. Life finds many paths." Later, at a celebration in their honor, Nathan stood with Lisa watching aliens and humans mingling, sharing food and stories. "Did you ever imagine your biology expertise would lead to this?" Lisa asked. Nathan shook his head. "When you selected me for this mission, I was terrified I'd say something wrong and offend them. I never expected that the most basic facts about human reproduction would do exactly that. And yet here we are," Lisa said, "full members of the galactic community, all because you told them humans don't hatch from eggs." Counselor Mira joined them, carrying the drink in one of her 4 hands. "Your biological difference has become your greatest contribution," she said. "It has taught us to question our assumptions about life." "I've been meaning to ask," Nathan said. "Why was everyone so shocked? Surely in all your exploration, you've encountered non-egg-laying animals before." "Of course," Mira nodded, "but never a sentient species. There seemed to be a pattern. All intelligent life came from eggs. We thought it might be a requirement for developing higher consciousness." "And now?" Lisa asked. "Now we know better." Mira's scales shifted to a thoughtful blue. "Perhaps there are many paths to intelligence, just as there are many paths to reproduction. This is the first lesson of our new institute." As Nathan looked around at the diverse alien life forms, each evolved on different worlds under different conditions, he felt a sense of wonder. The universe was vaster and stranger than humans had ever imagined. And now they were part of this galactic community, bringing their own unique perspective. "I can't wait to see what else we'll learn from each other," Nathan said. Mira's scales rippled with what Nathan now recognized as happiness. Neither can I, friend from Earth. Neither can I. Over the next week, Nathan worked closely with Counselor Mira and scientists from various council species. They set up a special room on the station with screens showing information about both human and alien life cycles. Nathan was surprised by how quickly the initial shock had turned into scientific curiosity. These are all the main types of reproduction on Earth, Nathan explained, showing images of various animals. Fish and amphibians usually lay eggs in water. Reptiles and birds lay eggs on land. Mammals have live births. Plants have their own methods with seeds and pollen. A group of small, furry aliens watched with wide eyes. One asked, "Which method is best?" Nathan smiled. "None is best. Each evolved to work in different environments. In the oceans, laying many small eggs works well. On land, eggs with shells protect the babies. For mammals, keeping babies inside the mother protects them from cold or predators." Counselor Tresk, who had become a regular at these sessions, nodded. Just as different planets produce different solutions. News about humans and their unusual reproduction had spread throughout Nexus Station. Nathan found himself approached by curious aliens whenever he walked through the station's corridors. "Is it true human young cry to signal needs?" asked a floating gas cloud being one day. "Yes, babies cry when they're hungry or uncomfortable," Nathan explained. "Since they can't take care of themselves, they need to get their parents' attention." "Fascinating. Our young communicate through color changes from hatching," the being replied, shifting from blue to purple. In the evenings, the human delegation met to discuss their experiences. Most were having similar interactions with curious aliens. The initial fear and shock had mostly given way to interest, though some species still kept their distance. "The scientific exchange is working," Lisa told them. "The council seems more comfortable with us now. They've even started discussing trade possibilities." "The Committee on Reproductive Diversity is going well too," Nathan said. "We're preparing a presentation for the full council next week." Kevin looked up from his tablet. "Did you know that human reproduction is now the most searched topic in the council's information network? We've become celebrities because we don't lay eggs." San laughed. "Of all the things that could have made humans famous across the galaxy, I didn't expect it would be this." On the day of the presentation, the council chamber was completely full. Even council members who rarely attended meetings were present. Nathan stood with Mira at the center, feeling nervous but excited. "Members of the Galactic Council," Mira began, her scales glowing a confident blue. "We have spent the past week studying human reproduction and comparing it to our own species. What we initially saw as strange, we now recognize as simply different. And these differences offer valuable insights." Nathan operated the display as Mira explained their findings. Council species typically produce many offspring and invest little in each individual. Humans and other mammals produce few offspring, but invest heavily in their care and development. The display showed a comparison of brain development. Perhaps most significantly, human infants are born with incomplete brain development. Their brains continue to grow and form connections based on their experiences after birth. This may contribute to human adaptability and creativity. Nathan added, "Our long childhood allows humans to learn complex skills and culture from their parents and community. We depend on each other from before birth." Mira continued, "We believe these biological differences help explain certain human cultural traits that puzzled us initially. Their strong family bonds, their tendency to form deep social connections, their willingness to sacrifice for their community, all may have roots in their reproductive biology." The council listened attentively. Nathan noticed that even the most skeptical members seemed engaged. "What began as a misunderstanding has become an opportunity for greater knowledge," Mira concluded. "We recommend full acceptance of humans into the galactic community, with recognition that their biological differences are not a barrier, but a chance for all of us to expand our understanding of life's diversity." When she finished, the chamber was silent for a moment. Then, starting from one side and spreading across the room, council members began to make their species gestures of approval. Some tapped appendages, others flashed colors or emitted soft tones. It was, Nathan realized with relief, their version of applause. The humans spent a restless night in their quarters. Nathan barely slept, worrying that he had ruined humanity's first contact with alien life. By morning, they still had not heard from the council. "This is getting ridiculous," Captain Foster said, pacing the room. "They can't just keep us waiting forever because they're shocked by basic biology." "It's not just biology to them," Kevin reminded him. "It's cultural, maybe even spiritual." Lisa's communication device chimed. She read the message and looked up. "The council has reached a decision. They want to meet with us in 1 hour." The humans prepared carefully, making sure they looked professional. Nathan felt his heart racing as they walked to the council chamber. When they entered, he noticed the room was now divided. Some council members sat on one side, others on the opposite side. High Councilor Zrix stood in the center. "Humans of Earth, the council has deliberated extensively regarding your unique biological nature. This matter has created 2 perspectives among us." Zrix gestured to the right side of the chamber. "Some believe that your method of reproduction is too different, too intimate to be comfortable with close relations at this time. They suggest limited contact until we understand your species better." Then Zrix pointed to the left side. "Others see your biology as simply another path of evolution. They are fascinated by the differences and believe we can learn from each other." Nathan held his breath. Which side had won? "The council has decided," Zrix continued, "that more information is needed. We propose a scientific exchange. A team of council biologists would visit Earth to study your diversity of life. In return, human scientists would visit several council worlds." Lisa stepped forward. "That seems reasonable. We would welcome your scientists to Earth." "There is another matter," Zrix said. "Councilor Mira has a proposal." Mira rose from her seat, her scales shimmering blue and green. "I believe we should create a special committee to study how different reproductive methods influence culture and society. Humans give us a unique opportunity to compare." "That sounds fascinating," Nathan said, his scientific curiosity overcoming his nervousness. "I would be happy to help with such a study." "I thought you might," Mira said, her mouth curved in what Nathan thought might be a smile. "I have already begun comparing notes on how egg-laying species and humans treat their young. The differences are striking." Kevin leaned forward with interest. "What have you found so far?" "Council species typically produce many young at once. Most young must survive on their own from hatching. This leads to cultures that value independence and self-reliance," Mira explained. "Humans produce few young and care for them intensively for many years. This may explain your strong focus on family bonds and community." "That makes sense," Olivia said. "Human babies are completely helpless when born. They need their parents to survive." An insect-like alien that Nathan recognized from earlier rose from its seat. "This is why some of us remain concerned. Your young are too dependent. Your reproduction requires too much sacrifice from the parent. It seems inefficient. But it has advantages too," Nathan argued. "The long period of care allows human children to learn complex skills and knowledge. Our brains continue developing after birth, shaped by our experiences and teachings." This started a murmur of discussion among the council. Nathan could see some aliens nodding, while others made gestures he couldn't interpret. Zrix raised his wings for silence. "These are exactly the questions the committee will study. Councilor Mira will lead it, with Dr. Morgan as the human representative. If both sides agree." Nathan looked at Lisa, who nodded her approval. "I would be honored," he said. "Then it is decided," Zrix announced. "The scientific exchange will begin, and the Committee on Reproductive Diversity is formed. This meeting is adjourned." As the council members filed out, Mira approached Nathan. "This is just the beginning," she said. I believe your way of bringing new life into the universe will teach us much about your species. I hope so, Nathan replied. And I hope we can learn from your ways too. For the first time since the egg incident began, Nathan felt hopeful. What had started as a cultural shock might become a bridge between very different forms of life. Nathan finished his presentation and looked out at the silent council chamber. He had explained mammalian reproduction as simply and respectfully as he could. Olivia had shown diagrams of human embryo development. They had compared it to egg-laying animals on Earth to help the aliens understand. And that concludes our explanation, Nathan said into the silence. Are there any questions? Almost every alien raised a hand, tentacle, or appendage. Nathan pointed to Counselor Mira first. You said the young receives nourishment directly from the mother's body, she said. Does this not drain the mother's resources severely? Yes, it does require a lot of energy, Olivia answered. Human mothers need to eat more food during pregnancy. The mother's body changes to support the baby. A tall, thin alien with pale skin spoke next. Is it not dangerous to carry a developing life inside with no protective shell? There are risks, Nathan admitted, but the mother's body protects the baby very well. The baby grows in a fluid-filled sac that cushions it. The mother's body also provides a stable temperature and immediate protection from predators or harsh environments. The questions continued for an hour. Some aliens seemed fascinated. Others still looked disturbed. One insect-like alien asked if humans had evolved from parasites, which Nathan politely corrected. Finally, High Counselor Zurix raised his wing for silence. We thank the humans for this enlightening presentation. The Council will now discuss this information privately. Please return to your quarters until we call for you. Back in their rooms on the station, the humans waited anxiously. Nathan sat with Olivia and Kevin, reviewing how the presentation had gone. I think some of them were starting to understand, Olivia said, especially Counselor Mira. She seemed more curious than shocked by the end. Others still looked disgusted, Kevin noted. Did you see that gas cloud being turned purple when you mentioned the placenta? Lisa joined them, looking worried. The council has been in session for 3 hours now. That's a long time to discuss one biological difference. Captain Foster frowned. Do you think this could affect our admission to the council? Over how we reproduce? I hope not, Lisa said. But clearly this is a bigger issue for them than we realized. Sam looked up from his device. I've been looking through more of the council's shared information. Egg-laying is actually part of many of their religions. Several species have myths about the universe hatching from a cosmic egg. Great, Lisa sighed. So we've accidentally challenged their religious beliefs too. Their door chimed, and Counselor Tresk entered. The reptilian alien looked tired, its usual bright scales now a duller shade. The council continues to debate, Tresk said. I came to speak with you unofficially, to help you understand. We would appreciate that, Lisa said, offering Tresk a seat. For all known council species, the egg is sacred, Tresk explained. It represents independence, potential, and the cycle of life. Young ones develop in their eggs with all they need already provided. They emerge complete, ready to face the world alone. Tresk's vertical eyelids blinked slowly. Your way seems strange to us. The young is dependent on the mother completely. It cannot survive if separated. It draws directly from her body to live. But doesn't that show a different kind of strength? Nathan asked. The mother sacrifices for her child before it's even born, and the bond between them is formed early. Tresk tilted his head. This is what some council members are beginning to recognize. Your weight is different, but it has its own beauty. The direct connection between mother and child suggests a level of care we had not considered possible. Will this affect humanity's relationship with the council? Lisa asked directly. I cannot say for certain, Tresk admitted. Some members wish to limit contact until they understand your biology better. Others are fascinated and want to learn more. A few suggest that your reproductive method may explain certain unique aspects of human behavior and society. Like what? Kevin asked. Your tendency to form strong family bonds. Your focus on community over individual. These traits are less common among council species. Tresk stood up. I must return to the chamber. The debate continues. As Tresk left, the humans looked at each other with concern. Their future with the galactic community now hung in the balance, all because of how human babies were born. The human delegation was quickly moved to a small side room. Lisa paced back and forth, while Nathan sat at a round table with the others. No one spoke for a minute. So, Kevin Harris said finally, apparently aliens really like eggs. Sam Rodriguez laughed nervously. That's putting it mildly. Did you see how they reacted? You'd think Nathan told them we eat our young. This isn't funny, Lisa said, stopping her pacing. We just caused some kind of diplomatic incident. On our first day. Nathan felt terrible. I didn't know it would upset them. I just answered the question honestly. It's not your fault, Olivia said. She was looking at something on her tablet. I've been reviewing the biological information they shared with us. Every sentient species in the council reproduces by laying eggs. Every single one. Kevin leaned forward. You mean we're the first mammals they've met in space? Looks that way, Olivia nodded. They seem to assume that laying eggs is necessary for developing intelligence. The door slid open, and Counselor Tresk entered. The reptilian alien looked at each human carefully before speaking. The council is processing this new information, Tresk said. Many members are surprised. Some are disturbed. This is not what we expected. Lisa stepped forward. We apologize for any upset we caused. We didn't realize this would be such a sensitive topic. Tresk's tail swayed slowly. Not sensitive. Just unexpected. In all our exploration, every intelligent species we have encountered reproduces by laying eggs. Some care for their eggs in groups. Others guard them alone. Some lay many small eggs. Others lay few large ones. But all begin life in an egg. That's fascinating, Nathan said. On Earth, many animals lay eggs, but mammals give live birth. Mammals include humans and many other species like dogs, whales, and elephants. Other intelligent species on your world also have no eggs. Tresk seemed shocked again. Well, dogs and elephants are intelligent, but not like humans, Nathan explained. They can't build spaceships or have conversations like this. Tresk's scales seemed to relax slightly. I see. The council has many questions. They wish to understand how your species develops without the protection of a shell. Lisa glanced at Nathan and Olivia. We'd be happy to explain human reproduction and development in detail, if that would help. Yes, Tresk said. A presentation would be appropriate. The full council will reconvene in 2 hours to hear it. After Tresk left, Lisa turned to Olivia and Nathan. You two need to prepare something fast. Keep it scientific, but be sensitive. We don't want to shock them any further. Nathan and Olivia worked quickly, putting together simple diagrams and explanations. Kevin helped by researching council species to better understand their perspective. Most council races lay eggs and abandon them, Kevin said. The young hatch fully formed and independent. Only a few species care for their eggs or young after laying them. That explains their shock, Olivia said. To them, the idea of carrying a developing baby inside the body must seem incredibly strange. Nathan nodded. And possibly dangerous. If something happens to the mother, the baby is also at risk. Focus on the advantages, Lisa suggested. Why evolution favored this approach for mammals on Earth. 2 hours later, they returned to the council chamber. The mood was tense as Nathan and Olivia took the central platform. Hundreds of alien eyes watched them with what Nathan now recognized as scientific curiosity, mixed with something like concern. High Counselor Drix addressed the chamber. Fellow council members, the humans have prepared an explanation of their unique reproductive process. We ask that you listen with open minds. Remember that biology takes many paths across our galaxy. Nathan stepped forward with his tablet, feeling the weight of representing all of Earth's mammals. He took a deep breath and began. Thank you for this opportunity to explain. On Earth, about half of vertebrate species lay eggs, while the other half give live birth. Humans belong to a group called mammals, which all share this characteristic of live birth. As he spoke, Nathan noticed the reactions in the chamber. Some aliens leaned forward with interest. Others seemed to recoil slightly, but all were paying very close attention. For better or worse, human reproduction had become the most interesting topic in the galaxy. The council chamber fell silent as Lisa finished her speech. Nathan looked around nervously at the hundreds of alien faces. Some had faces like Earth animals. Others looked like nothing he had ever seen before. One creature was just a floating ball of light. High Counselor Drix stepped forward, feathers rippling down his neck. We thank the humans for their words. Now begins the exchange of knowledge. Council members may approach the humans with questions. Nathan had expected a formal meeting with prepared questions. Instead, the aliens rose from their seats and moved toward the humans like people at a party. The reptilian alien Nathan had noticed earlier walked straight to him. I am Counselor Tresk, the alien said, blinking vertical eyelids that closed sideways across yellow eyes. You are the biology expert. Yes, Nathan said, trying to look confident. I study life on Earth, especially ocean creatures. Fascinating, Tresk said. Its voice sounded rough but friendly. Our worlds have oceans too. Many species come from water before evolving to land. Nathan smiled, feeling more comfortable talking about his work. That's true on Earth too. All land animals evolved from sea creatures long ago. More aliens gathered around Nathan. A small floating jellyfish creature moved close, its tentacles glowing soft blue. Does Earth have many species? It asked in a voice like wind chimes. Millions, Nathan replied. Maybe tens of millions. We discover new ones every day. The aliens made sounds of surprise and interest. Nathan began to relax as he showed them pictures of Earth animals on his tablet. They seemed especially interested in mammals. What is this creature? Asked a tall insect-like being, pointing to a picture of a dolphin. That's a dolphin, Nathan explained. A sea mammal. They're very intelligent. They'd breathe air, but live in the ocean. Breathe air. The insect alien clicked its mandibles in surprise. In water. They come to the surface to breathe, Nathan said. They evolved from land animals that went back to the sea. A blue-skinned alien with 4 arms joined the group. I am Counselor Mira, she said. Her skin had a pattern of scales that shimmered in the light. I study young creatures, how they grow and develop. I would like to know about human young. Nathan nodded. I can tell you about human children and how we grow up. Mira moved closer, her large eyes blinking with interest. How long do human eggs need to develop before hatching? What temperature must they be kept at? Nathan blinked in confusion. I'm sorry, humans don't lay eggs. We're mammals. Our babies grow inside the mother and are born live. The room suddenly went quiet. Even aliens across the chamber who couldn't have heard him stopped talking. Nathan felt the silence like a physical weight. Counselor Mira's scales flashed bright colors. No eggs? That cannot be correct. It's true, Nathan said, feeling uncomfortable with all the attention. Humans are mammals. All mammals give birth to live young. Our babies develop inside the mother's body for 9 months before birth. Counselor Tresk stepped back. Inside the body, with no protective shell. High Counselor Drix pushed through the crowd, feathers standing on end. This is most unusual. No eggs at all. How do your young form? Nathan looked around for Lisa but couldn't see her in the crowd of aliens. He wasn't sure why this was causing such a reaction. The embryo grows in a special organ called a uterus. It gets nutrition directly from the mother's bloodstream. A small green alien at the back of the group made a high-pitched sound and fell over. Two others rushed to help it up. "I don't understand," Nathan said. "Is something wrong?" Counselor Zrix's feathers slowly flattened. "Nothing is wrong. We have never encountered a sentient species that does not reproduce with eggs. This is unexpected information." Nathan saw Lisa finally pushing through the crowd, a worried look on her face. Behind her, the other humans also looked concerned. "Perhaps," Zrix said, his voice more formal now, "we should continue this discussion in a more structured setting. Council members, please return to your seats." As the aliens moved away, Lisa reached Nathan's side. "What happened?" she whispered. "Why did everyone react like that?" Nathan shook his head. "I just told them humans don't lay eggs. I don't know why they're so shocked." Lisa looked around at the aliens, many of whom were still staring at them. "I think we just discovered our first major cultural difference." Nathan Morgan stared out the viewport of the Terran ship Horizon, watching the massive space station grow larger. His stomach felt tight with nerves. The colorful rings of the gas giant behind the station made a beautiful backdrop, but Nathan barely noticed. In just 1 hour, he would meet aliens from across the galaxy. Still worried, Commander Lisa Blackwell asked, coming to stand beside him. Her uniform was perfectly pressed, not a wrinkle in sight. Nathan ran a hand through his brown hair. "I'm a marine biologist, Lisa, not a diplomat." "Why did they pick me for this mission?" "Because they asked for a biology expert," Lisa said. "The Galactic Council wants to learn about Earth life. You know more about that than anyone else on this ship." Nathan nodded, but didn't feel better. 6 months ago, humanity had received its first message from alien life. The Galactic Council, they called themselves, a group of over 200 alien species who worked together to govern this part of the galaxy. After months of careful messages back and forth, they had invited humans to join them. The Horizon was sent with a small team to make first contact in person. "What if I say something wrong?" Nathan asked. "What if I offend them somehow?" Lisa put a hand on his shoulder. "Just stick to the facts. Answer their questions about Earth biology honestly. Let me handle the diplomatic parts." The ship's speakers came to life. "Attention all crew. We will dock at Nexus Station in 15 minutes. First contact team, please prepare for departure." Nathan took a deep breath and picked up his tablet. He had loaded it with information about Earth's ecosystems, animals, and plants. The Council seemed very interested in how life worked on Earth. He hoped his knowledge would be enough. When the Horizon docked, Nathan stood with Lisa and 5 other humans chosen for first contact. Dr. Olivia Martinez, the medical expert; Kevin Harris, the anthropologist; Captain Alan Foster, the Horizon's commander; Sam Rodriguez, the technology expert; and Ben Williams, the security officer. "Remember," Lisa told them all, "we represent all of humanity today. Let's make a good first impression." The airlock doors opened with a soft hiss. On the other side stood creatures that Nathan had only seen in the video messages before. The alien greeting party included a tall bird-like being with colorful feathers, a blue-skinned humanoid with 4 arms, and what looked like a floating jellyfish. "Welcome, humans," said the bird creature, its words translated through small devices they all wore. "I am High Counselor Zrix. We are pleased to finally meet you in person." Lisa stepped forward. "Thank you for your welcome, High Counselor. We bring greetings from Earth and all humanity." The aliens led them through wide hallways filled with more strange beings. Nathan tried not to stare as they passed a group of small furry creatures and what appeared to be a walking plant. The station was huge, with high ceilings and strange architecture that seemed to blend technology with art. They arrived at a large door that slid open to reveal a massive chamber. The council room was shaped like a bowl, with hundreds of seats circling down to a central platform. Each seat held a different type of alien. Some looked almost human. Others were so strange that Nathan couldn't even guess how they thought or communicated. "You will address the full council now," Zrix said. Then we will begin our cultural exchange. Nathan felt sweat on his forehead as they walked to the center platform. So many eyes, and other sensory organs he couldn't name, were watching them. He clutched his tablet tighter, hoping he wouldn't have to speak first. Lisa stepped forward confidently. "Honorable members of the Galactic Council, we come in peace from planet Earth." Nathan listened as Lisa gave their prepared introduction. As she spoke, he noticed a reptilian alien with scales and vertical pupils watching him with particular interest. The alien tilted its head, as if puzzled by something about Nathan. Later, Nathan would look back on this moment and laugh. How could he have known that simply being a mammal would cause so much trouble?